here, the GSL. Good to have you guys back. Maybe you have a little bathroom break.
It's
number one. No number twos, man.
No,
not
not enough
time
time for that. And if you did, then you might have a medical condition that you need to look into. And you certainly didn't wash your hands.
Yeah.
That didn't happen.
That didn't happen. So we just saw Sokisu Trickster get taken out. Pretty brutal games, actually. Pretty one-sided. But
Yeah.
I really want to go home and try that Mothership Rush.
Yeah, that was
actually
pretty
cannot
interesting.
stop thinking about that.
That was interesting, Tasteless.
Yeah.
One Void Ray into a 2-base Mothership.
Well, it's like,
I do. I want to go home and try it,
Why did I not think of that?
Why would you think of that, man? Did you lick doorknobs? You have to do your homework, man.
I tried
You have to have
to.
fever dreams.
You
You have to get yourself some sick, nasty fever, man.
Fever nightmares are terrible.
Well, what else could that have come out of, right?
Well, you know what's funny about the build is, like, when you see it done, it, like, makes sense. I'm like, oh, I guess you could.
I guess,
know. You know, there is a kind of a period
Forces
of time.
detection.
Zerg
Vortex
really,
is actually like.
But I mean, even the timing of it, like, Zerg can't really kill you.
Think about this for a minute too. Like, you know how force fields kind of like allow a Protoss to control a battle?
Yeah.
Imagine like
force
fields and a vortex. It's like the Zerg just like throws his hands in there. He's like, I don't know. What am I supposed to do?
Over here we have our Terran player, or one of the two actually, the best.
I do believe he fell out of Code A this past season.
Yeah, I think so. You know, he was in Code S.
The all-ins just ain't working like they used to, Tasteless.
Yeah, this guy all-ins almost as much
like every single game,
Prime, right?
Yeah, but they're like.
But Bit by Bit Prime, I think, is in Code B right now. Right? He might be like somewhere lower down the alphabet. I don't
think
he's like
in Code B, actually.
He's like even beyond Z. He's actually like now where like symbols are and stuff. It's like
he's in practice league. Games on fast.
He has to like go down to the Hangul alphabet. You know what I mean? All right. So here he is now. Now, you know, who knows? Maybe the best has changed his play style. We've seen that happen before. We've seen ST kind of work outside of his work outside the box.
Did you just compare the best Fou and Professor T?
Professor T.
Yeah, man.
Mr. T.
Mr. T.
I did that.
I can't believe
I did that, man. That's what I do. Over here, we have JJUN.
Yeah, I've seen some of this guy's games. He's not as accomplished as some of these other
well
players,
known.
but I've seen some of his TVT at least that I can recall. And if I recall correctly, he cheesed all in twice against. I want to say Bomber, but I might be wrong on that. There's actually too many StarCraft 2 games to remember.
Well, you know, we cast so many games. Yeah. We're actually on live TV like 20 hours a week, sometimes
pretty crazy.
More. Yeah.
Used to be much more than that, Tasteless.
Yeah, it used to be. Oh, man. People are like, why are they tired?
How can you get tired?
How can you get tired after 40 hours of live TV? Now, it is going to be a TBT, but, you know, the best might make this kind of short if he does some kind of all-in. It's not the best map to do an all-in, but you never know. We've seen new strategies coming from, you know, all these players here. Terminus being our first map.
Bell Sheer Beach. We have not actually casted or played on that
Bring
yet,
your swim trunks. We're going to the beach.
I'm actually really excited to finally get to cast a game on there.
Yeah, me too.
It reminds me of that Warcraft 3 map.
This will be our
Turtle Rock, I want to say is the name. I'm bad at Warcraft 3
that or
map
Echo
names.
Isles?
Oh, yeah.
Echo Isles?
That might be it.
All right, it's time. Terminus is our map. The best and Chun are our players. It's going to be a Terran versus Terran. Let's see who moves on to the round of 32 here in the Super Tournament for the GSL.
The Best for You versus JJUN.
All right, over here in the left, starting location. He's actually not the best for you, but that's his ID.
The Best for You.
Really interested in seeing what kind of games this guy's going to bring to us today. Now,
I am too.
I have the conch, Artosis. Now, in the top center, we have...
JJUN.
All right, Artosis, now you have the conch.
I'm going to put a snake in the conch before next game, and you'd be like, I have the conch, and you're going to look at the snake's coming out, you go, wow! You drop the conch, and then I pick it up, and then I have the conch. What are you going to do then?
Wow, I don't know.
Nothing. Nothing is what? Because there's a snake near your feet, and all you can do is lift them up in the air and wait for John to come and take it away.
All right. Again, this is a very large map. This is a map where we don't see as many hard contains. Hard contains is where you're making turrets and bunkers and trying to contain them. It's usually soft contain. You set up, control a position for a little bit, unsiege, move out, control a different location. It makes for a very interesting Terran versus Terran.
Yep. JJUN scouting the best right away. The best's going to scout JJUN right away as well. No gas yet for the best, while JJUN is getting a single gas. Pretty interesting. It looks like the best is probably going to go for a very fast expansion.
Okay, so 2 different builds here from these guys. And as you can see, the best is going to be in the dark in this case for this game. He has no idea what JJUN is up to, because I think JJUN, wisely so, opted to wall in. And I think it's actually, you should always wall in Terran versus Terran on this map.
Yeah.
There's a chance they won't get there in time.
Oh, absolutely. Should be able to stop them from scouting. Now, the best is making a command center, throwing up 1 gas. Factory for JJUN. Will he get a second gas now? My thought is yes, because this looks like a Banshee build. By the placement of that factory, Tasteless, by the power of Grayskull, this is a Banshee build.
Wow. All right, so we got a little bit of downtime. We got to wait for this to kind of develop. Story time. You want to hear a story, Artosis?
Yeah. I love story
One time, I was a kid, right? I was really young, like preschool, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I was at my grandma's house, actually in her front yard, and I found an egg.
Yeah.
It had fallen from a nest.
Oh.
You know what I mean?
Poor egg.
So I was like, oh my God, I have an egg. So I took the egg to my grandma's house, and you know what do birds do with eggs?
They sit
well,
on
they
them?
sit on them, you know. So I was like, I'm gonna sit on this egg on my grandma's couch,
Oh,
and I'm gonna
no.
and I'm gonna raise this baby bird. So I just sit on this egg and it crushes, blood comes out, and I'm like, ah! It was.
This
and
is the
grandma's
saddest
yelling at me. Oh, that's all right. I mean, I turned out okay, but
How did it turn out okay?
no, I turned out fine. That bird's dead. Well, I was
thought
a
I
kid,
was talking
man.
about you.
I was a kid, man. No, he's
Oh.
fine. That's now Pirate Bird. So.
Oh no, that's such a sad story, Tasteless.
Well, I was horrified when I was a kid. I was like, oh my God, what have I done? I was trying to nurture and raise an animal.
You wanted to be a mama bird.
I wanted to be the mama bird.
Yeah.
But instead, I engaged in infanticide. All right, Banshee on the way now. And, a lot of this is going to come down to how much damage the Banshee can actually deal. Or if, he loses the Banshee right away. He's getting cloaked, so this is a pretty heavy investment.
Yeah, pretty heavy investment there. We do have 2 Orvals up for the best. He is making a tech lab on his factory. Looks like he's going to go probably Siege Tank Marine, but also getting that starport. So as soon as he sees the Banshee, he's going to want to throw out a Viking immediately.
Yeah, the Viking basically ceases the Banshee harassment unless you got really good Banshee control and you can dodge in and out of the scans. But the Banshee, frankly, is just not exactly the most mobile unit as far as speed goes.
Yeah, they aren't that fast. For something that flies, at least.
Yeah.
And here we go. Harassment does commence. We do have a Viking on the way. It's about a third done. Cloak almost done. And it looks like Cloak will finish just after the Viking gets out. So he's going to want to be careful not to lose his Banshee. He's already taken some damage. But you normally want to make him use at least 2 scans per Banshee. That's when the Banshee does well.
He needs the Cloak right now.
Well, there we go. Cloak finishes.
Look at that thing. It's flying over. What is that? We need to capture that location. Throw a rope over that and pull it
That's
over
where
here.
they print the newspapers for Arcturus Minx.
Oh my God.
Well, that first Banshee dies that scan really, really quickly. We do have, it looks like, another scan saved up and another one very close by. So this may go down pretty quickly. Oh, no, this was perhaps the worst cloaked Banshee harassment that we've seen, Tasteless.
I'm so shocked.
Have you ever seen 2 cloaked Banshees get no kills?
No.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow. Actually, that's a good pointer.
Yeah, that was pretty fail harass there, unfortunately, from JJUN. He's going to be hard-pressed to feel safe here. Because his opponent already has this command center, he hasn't really done any damage.
You get those 2 Banshees, you spend the income on Cloak, and then you just don't do anything. You basically have thrown that away.
Yeah. And that is a lot of gas.
And this is actually a 3rd Banshee here. Meanwhile, both players gearing up for their expansions. Why are you laughing?
I'm just thinking of something semi-clever. Sorry. And a 3rd.
I can't believe he's kiting this Banshee right now.
So a 3rd cloaked Banshee that does almost nothing. This is such a waste. It's like the BP Banshee spill.
Yeah, no
All
kidding.
this gas just out in nowhere, man.
Little pelicans getting in the oil. Saddest thing I've ever seen.
Best being gas, choking out the birds in the air.
How many times have birds randomly been brought up in our cast? I've actually lost count.
Birds
and
are
then
important,
oddly
man.
enough, maybe it's because there's a bird in the Super Tournament opening. Oh, we've been primed.
Inception!
Now, both players taking this gas. Best being gas so important in Terran versus Terran.
You know what's really interesting about this? 3 cloaked Banshees doing almost no damage, and JJUN is up by 16 supply.
Oh my god, you're right. How does that even work?
He has 6 more SCVs. He did kill a few SCVs with the first Banshee, like 3, but still. TheBest, really known as kind of a cheesy player, not the greatest later on in the game, mid-game, late game. So I don't know, maybe that's what's occurred here, Tasteless.
I think you might be right, Artosis.
And he's up 17 supplies still, and TheBest is just trying to do a little push in here. JJUN got to chase him right away, though.
A little bit of cat and mouse here. Well, he better turn around. Gets out just in time. Nice play by JJUN.
JJUN going to have stim done. In fact, I'm like looking at these army sizes. If he spreads right. More barracks for TheBest going down.
I like that Raven Viking positioning. He's actually ready for the next Banshee to potentially fly in there.
Wants to kill another Banshee without it doing any damage.
Thirsting for Banshee
Getting
blood.
greedy now, TheBest. Yeah, looks like he will bust right through here. TheBest has too many units out here without a lot going on with them. Spreads those Marines, and this will be taken out by JJUN. Throwing up some auto turrets.
Yeah, interesting use of auto turret there. Does take out some medevacs here.
Wow, he actually takes out that, will he get the Viking as well? No, he will not. But does take out that Raven, which is very expensive. And surprisingly, I thought JJUN would do a little bit better with that. I thought he was going to clean that up a little bit better. And
yeah, I did as well.
I hold on a minute. Yeah, no. Okay, our screen right now, the observer screen, is actually, he hit the mouse 1 time to zoom it in. So I think the people at home are probably going crazy right now in the forums. You see what I mean? It's not actually straight up.
No, we'll probably get it fixed on the break. Maybe you can have it in a new
I thought
angle
everything
like
looked a little bit weird. I'm like,
these units
isn't
look a
everything
little
look
bit
fatter?
He actually gives the tanks steroids.
Even more damage
Gives the
like
tanks
that.
roid rage. That's why they take the roids, Artosis. It's not to get the big muscles. They take it for the roid rage. Well, Banshee now
The
moving out.
supplies have equalized a lot.
You have 1 sensor tower up here. Up from TheBest.
JJUN trying to set up some missile turrets, but that Banshee's stopping him at the moment.
And it looks like he will out. Just barely not escape, unfortunately. So right now, the best continuing to regroup over here. JJUN does have this pretty good position. You know, nobody can really get too far in the center. Just like a normal Terran versus Terran, there's always a no man's land because the siege tank is sort of the staple unit. Siege tank Marine in this case. Starcraft 1, mostly just more siege tank.
Yeah. Siege tank dropship almost. So we have double sensor towers going on.
Does a little scan, sets up position. No man's land once again created.
But the best does have some Vikings, and that's going to help him to get the spotting on. We do have.
It was really important he got that Xel'Naga watchtower. That's so important.
JJUN has 2 more siege tanks right now. That's pretty important to recognize. 5 more SCVs for the best. Kind of impressive. And now we're going to have to see how these players end up transitioning. They're both in locations where they're like, well, it doesn't look like we're going to kill each other. So they should be thinking about taking new bases right now.
You know, here's the thing is we've seen the best actually get supply block 2 times here.
Oh, man. JJUN, a nice siege up. Takes out a few siege tanks with a well-placed scan, despite the best having Vikings out.
Yeah, that was a that's very good instinct is what we saw just there. Yeah, you're dead on, Artosis. One of these guys needs to expand here.
But as you said, the best, you know, he loves to do stuff on 2 bases, so it looks like he's trying to do something here. I'm not sure exactly what, but right now it's just kind of him losing some units. And JJUN just goes up in supply, 143 to 122. And the best does throw up a command center now, whereas JJUN not yet doing so.
Nice little tank play here by the best, and he will take out both those tanks. Go.
Painful loss for JJUN.
Yeah.
You know, when you start getting up in siege tanks, you want to be even more careful not to lose any, because it gets out of hand pretty quickly when you have that many. JJUN's starting his Viking production a little bit.
JJUN's position is just a little bit better. It might look for you guys at home like, oh, well, it's pretty much even right now, but JJUN does have the Xel'Naga watchtower under control in the area that is technically the best bow use turf. That's his hood. That's where he puts his gang tags.
Yeah, no. That Xel'Naga watchtower is under his protection, Decisive.
Yeah.
He's the one that collects the fees from it.
That's right.
And we do have a nice drop by the best. Just taking out a missile turn, running away. But these Vikings,
they're going to get killed right over Willy Wonka's chocolate factory. No. They managed to get by. Unload it. What are you doing? Oh, God.
Oh, my God.
What?
I think he assumed it was dead, and he just didn't look anymore. That's my thought.
That was pretty bad.
It was painful, tasteless. It's 10 supply, gone.
Yeah, that's actually a lot.
Now, the best is actually, I like this. He's going 4 factory siege tank right now. He's taking that 3rd base. JJUN has not taken another base. He's on 2 factory siege tanks, so he's definitely going to get way behind in siege tanks from here.
There's a surprise here. He hit the Vikings and then brought him out all of a sudden. And that's going to give him even more control of this area.
Very good move by JJUN.
Forward.
You know, I love moves like that, Tasteless. And look at this. Looks like JJUN wants to go in a little bit further. Loading up his medevacs full of Marines. Oh, my. My, oh, my, oh, my. Gonna drop on those 2 siege tanks. He should have his tanks unsieged right now, though.
Uh-oh.
In order to really punish for this. Uh-oh.
Oh,
beautiful. Way out of position, Tasteless.
He's gonna lose a lot of his production facilities. Reactors and tech labs being taken out. Uh-oh, he needs to run away!
Taking out another siege tank up here. Gonna take out all these SCVs.
Oh, my God.
My.
Yeah, it looks like he might try to counterattack the best.
Good choice by the best. He's got to get something done.
He's going to have siege mode set up. He can use his SCVs to defend if need be. A little bit of miscontrol there by JJUN.
Yeah, it looks like he's focusing at home right now, and the best with a counter drop, a very strong one too.
Uh-oh. But you know, here's the problem is that JJUN does not have really anything at home to defend this.
No, he does not. In fact, it looks like JJUN may be dying here. It looks like he's going to go all in on that main now, dropping all his siege tanks up. But this is something that's going to be not all that hard to deal with comparatively.
No. I mean, well, he doesn't have any Marines to defend it.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, back here, it looks like JJUN is being killed off even faster for the best. A nice turnaround. You know, it looked like he was going to lose. He takes out the orbital over here, though. However, JJUN takes out Best's orbital.
But, you know, Best still has all his production facilities going. He's getting more and more units. The supply is getting more and more lopsided.
These guys are both just doing a tremendous amount of damage to each other. And I think what you said is very important, Artosis. You know, the Best still has some production facilities somewhere. JJUN does not. These siege tanks, they can destroy buildings, but of course they're not mobile. And news, guys, buildings can fly in Starcraft 2.
Yeah, he's got 3 Vikings, but will that be enough? Probably no. No, the Best just has enough units here. He still has 3 command centers, building a 4th over on the right-hand side of the map.
I like the usage of the mules here to do a little bit of repair work.
Yeah, you know, he's not in a situation where he can really mine. He's down to 71 supply. Does he even have a command center? I don't think so.
Yeah, he's lost all orbitals, so all his structural locations have been given away. So right now, the Best actually knows about this and is going to go ahead and take care of that pretty quickly. We should expect to see GG here from the Best pretty soon.
Yeah, the Best is
from JJUN, excuse me, the Best has won this.
This is an offensive GG. He's found all the locations JJUN is rebuilding in. All JJUN has left is his tank push, and the one thing we must say is it's a powerful tank push. You know, his opponent has no spotters. He only has scans, so this is dangerous. The Best kind of has to guess, and he's actually doing a very strong tank push against him right now, Tasteless. This can't be denied. It's very, very powerful.
It is scary. He's going to have to give up that position, as you can see here.
Yeah.
But here's the other problem: he can keep just leapfrogging backwards with the siege tanks, and eventually there's just not going to be enough money.
Oh, and the Best just took out all but 1 Viking.
Yeah, he actually ninja stemmed when the guy was entering. I don't know if we got a shot of it, but I saw it on your screen, Artosis. He actually ran in there, shot down all the Vikings.
That's pretty huge, because now he can get his air superiority, and once he has that, Tasteless, it's all over. Look at this. The 1 Viking going to take out JJUN's, and bam, all the medevacs will die, and the siege tanks are no more. That's it. GG. And very interesting TVT, actually. The Best out-expanding his opponent.
The Best is changing, man.
I guess he still wants to be the Best.
Now he's an overseer.
I think before he was a Marine, and now he's a Marine with combat shields.
The GSL is the place where the boys go to go from Hydralisks into Lurkers. Yes.
I want to become a Brood Lord one day, because right now I am a Corruptor.
You're just a Corruptor?
Corrupting poor kids who watch his stream every day.
Guys, thank you so much for tuning in. This is a lot of fun. These games today have been pretty good. Look, I think JJUN's going to have to play a little bit better than that if he's going to win this. He actually looked like he was about to win, and then the Best well, I'm just going to kill you.
Yeah, no, JJUN did a really strong move, but the Best had already ferried some units over to the side of the map, and then he's like, well, I'm not in a position to really do anything against his push right now.
Right.
I may as well counter push. He's got everything over here. And it worked out brilliantly. You know, he got right up in the position where he hit all of his opponent's production facilities right away, had a ton of Marines up there. Because when you get siege tanks up there, you're like, okay, this is scary. But when Marines are on your production facilities, you're like, oh, I'm not making more units.
It's interesting. That's one thing about Terran. It's different from Zerg or Protoss in the sense that if you get to their production facilities, because Terran units, they deal a lot of damage, but most of them take a lot of damage too. They're only good as a group. So they pop right out and you just shoot them down. And that's a very good way to take the Terran player out.
Starcraft 1 and 2 like
Bellshear Beach.
This is going to be a lot of fun.
Bring your beach ball. Get your little sandals, okay? I want you to have a little bucket. Make your little sandcastle. All right, get some sunscreen. You're going to get burned.
Definitely sunscreen.
You don't want to get burned.
I got a terrible sunburn last year, Tasteless.
Yeah.
So I beached down in here.
I am so white. I like them out in the sun. I get burned. That's why I'm actually a nerd. Stay inside my nerd cave. That's why. Now, The game is loading, excuse me. The game is loading, so it's game time. Head-to-head here, game number 2 with TheBest against JJUN. Who's going to win? Let's find out here at the GSL.